What up, everybody? Joe White here. It's dark. It's 12:30 at night, or in the morning. Woke up and saw everybody's asking me pretty much about this freedom convoy, the quote unquote freedom convoy. The freedom convoy, the truckers' protest happening in Canada. Let me first just say I've never been to Canada. I have no interest in driving into Canada. I will never get my passport, because the second I get my passport, my company is going to be like, well, you can go to Canada. No, I can't. Don't want to. Second of all, let me say that these guys that are quote-unquote protesting and quote-unquote showing the world that they want their freedom, they are not truck drivers like I am. Now, I know all the old owner-operators out there who wish it was like it was back in the 70s, where you could run 15 log books and take a bunch of daggone speed and no-nos and stay up for 3 days at a time and drive across the country in one shot. I used to be able to drive 3,000 miles without even getting my cowboy boots messed up. These guys are owner-operators. Okay? They're owner-operators. They own those trucks. There's no way that they're going to let you, there's no way that the company that I work for is going to let me go up there and join this. No company in the world, and yes, 90% of these companies are ran by Republicans. Back when Biden, that dumbass Biden, and let me just say this, yes, they're Republicans. But back when that dumbass Biden was trying to fast forward a vaccine mandate on all these companies, we were getting messages on our computers daily from Creek Carrier Corp going, "We are monitoring the situation. We feel like you have a right to your freedom. We will be fighting this with OSHA and everybody else." First off, you ain't going to fight it with shit, okay? What are you going to do when companies like, who are, again, these are companies who are ran by Republicans, who are going to eventually it's going to be this way. Eventually, they are going to bend the knee to the government, and they're going to say, okay, in order to enter our property, you have to be vaccinated. Why? Because they want to please everybody on social fucking media, okay? They want to please the masses on Twitter, the soy milk generation, these millennials who will, get on Twitter and go, Walmart is anti-vax. They don't require their employees to be vaccinated. This company is anti-vax. This place is anti-vax. So what will Walmart do? Walmart is going to then say, okay, in order for Joe White to deliver a load onto our property, he has to show proof of vaccination at the guard shack when he arrives. Because let me let you in on a little behind the scenes here. When I pick up a load of ice cream at Ben & Jerry's, okay, let's say I go to Ben & Jerry's in Vermont, and I'm pick up a load of ice cream, and I'm taking it to a Walmart distribution center in Oklahoma. When I get to Oklahoma, when you pull into the Walmart distribution center, it's basically a building surrounded by docks that you bump into, and then there's a trailer, like just a big ass, lot full of trailers. Normally, we do what's called a drop and hook, which means we will drop our loaded trailer, pick up an empty trailer, and get out of there. Because you don't want to... I hate Walmart. I'll first say that now. I refuse to go in there unless I absolutely have to. The fact that I have to deliver loads to that organization pisses me off. Now, I'll bring them their products, but as far as delivering the shit to their stores, you would have to pay me $1 million a mile to do that. Because everybody's got a price, okay? Despite what anybody says, everybody's got a price. But let's say I go up to the guard shack to deliver that Ben & Jerry's, and Walmart goes, show proof of vaccination or else you can't deliver that load here. Now, I'm not saying it'll get this way. In fact, I don't think it will, but it could, because the soy milk generation and all these stupid Democrat hippies will get on the damn Twitter and claim that Walmart's anti-vax until they bend the knee and do this. Now, do you really think that the trucking companies are going to go to Walmart and go, you got to stop this? Well, Walmart goes, we're not going to stop it. And if you refuse to do it, then we're just going to stop your trucking company from delivering goods to our stores and to our distribution centers. We'll find somebody else who's willing to bend the knee and take their drivers and require their drivers to go get vaccinated and carry around vax cards, which now I'm hearing, like Nia Jax in the WWE has hinted, well, she's no longer with the WWE, but Nia Jax has hinted that people are just going to the doctor, not getting the shot, handing the doctor money, and getting false vaccination records, which I think that's wrong. So, Walmart could very well do that. You take a hippie company like Starbucks. Starbucks could start this mess. Now, granted, Starbucks probably doesn't have Starbucks trucks, but, well, I mean, let me, just name a company that's all hippified and soy milk generation employed and all this mess. Sorry, it's 12:30 in the morning. I just woke up to this news. And I'll get to the news in a minute, but so the company I work for, let's say all of a sudden Walmart says, you got to be vaccinated in order to get on our property. Truck drivers have to be vaccinated, because if there's anybody that they're going to require this for, it's going to be us, because we're out there. We're not, we go millions of different places each week. So if there's anybody that's likely to catch this shit, it's going to be us. I had it a year ago. And yes, I am vaccinated. I haven't gotten my booster yet. I'm supposed to get the booster this month. Anyway. So then you get these truckers up in Canada. And Canada requires proof of vaccination to come in and out of the country. Or at least in the country. If I'm a truck driver and I'm Canadian based and I leave the country to go deliver a load into the U.S. or go pick up a load in the U.S. to go back to Canada, when I go back into Canada, Canada requires proof of vaccination to enter the country. That's violating their freedom. More on that in a second. If I'm a U.S. citizen and I have to deliver a load into Canada, Canada requires proof of vaccination. But they're violating our freedom. More on that in a second. So what happens? These owner-operators, and let's get one thing straight. All these guys are owner-operators, which means they own and operate their own truck under their own authority. They own those trucks. They pay their fuel taxes and their DOT taxes, Department of Transportation taxes. They have all their permits, hopefully. Hopefully they're running legally. I say that because if it were up to the owner-operators in this country, we'd still be in the days of paper logbooks, because all these owner-operators. Let me tell you about, I love my fellow truck drivers, don't get me wrong. It's a tough job. It's not easy, folks. However, my fellow truck drivers, especially anybody who's over the age of 40, you need to understand one thing, okay? It's not going to ever go back to how it was. Okay? The 70s are not just going to make a grand comeback. The days of you being able to run 5 log books and take a bunch of no-dos and go across the damn country in one fell swoop in a matter of a day and a half, they're over. It's done. Okay? Those days are never coming back. Don't care whether you're a Democrat. Don't care whether you're a Republican. First off, you're both wrong. Think for your fucking selves for once instead of letting an orange-faced man or a 90-year-old fucking zombie who stutters like a son of a bitch and looks like he's always looking into the sun. Think for yourselves for once before you pick a side. Pick your own side. Don't let... I hate the term influencer. If you let Donald Trump or Joe Biden or any of these other yahoos up on that hill who would throw you under the bus in a minute just to put $1 in their pocket influence you, you're stupid. And for all you religious nuts out there who sit there and go, well, the Republicans believe in God. They're against the abortions and they're against the thing and they Bible, thump it. How about writing in Jesus Christ on your ballot next time? If you're that serious about it and you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, how about, there's a little thing on your ballot that you could write in your own candidate. Just put Jesus Christ down there and see what happens. Or how about voting independent for a change? There's never been an independent president. Well, Joe, the independents lean more toward Democratic. Look, I think that would change, honestly. Hell, Trump. Look at Trump. Trump flat out said, pardon me. Trump flat out said that if he did not get the Republican nomination, that he was going to run anyway as an independent. And guess what? For all you Democratic idiots out there, he still would have won. I'm so sick of this two-party system that we have. They're both corrupt. But anyway, back to the trucking deal. Sorry. All these guys are owner-operators who, they want their freedom. It's all about the freedom. And we're going to show them. We're going to show them, yeah, freedom. Oh, yeah, freedom. So what we're going to do, we're going to take and strap on our Wranglers with our dinner plate belt buckles. We're going to snap up our cowboy shirts nice and tight. We're going to put on our Delmonico brand cowboy boots. And I'm going to put on my cowboy hat. And I'm going to make sure my long gray mustache and beard are nice and oiled up and I'm looking all pretty. And I'm going to get on in my truck. And I'm going to jam my gears. Unloaded. And I'm going to take my truck and join all my brothers and sisters. And I'm going to head into Ottawa. And we're going to shut it down. Okay. So now... Golly, huh? Hold on, folks. I'm going to open me a nice cold Coke Zero here a second. Hold on. So they're going to shut it down. We're going to shut down the country of Canada. First off, let me, okay. So I'm wondering, okay, so you shut it down. You're just like all these meth heads in the U.S., again, who wish it can go back to the way it was. We want our freedom. Not only do we not want to be vaccinated, but let me tell you something, government. We want to be able to run 6 log books again. We want our freedom. We want to be able to not get the shot. You ain't gonna tell us what to do. So they shut it down. They shut the country down. There's a long convoy. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of owner-operators in this country. And bless you if you have the money to do that bullshit. And I know what all you owner-operators are going to say. Well, you're just a corporate slave driving for a company. Yeah, because I don't want to have to pay taxes out the ass and put up with all the bullshit that goes with it. And I don't want to be associated with idiots like you. Okay? Let's get that out of the way. You're all a bunch of morons. Whether you're Democratic or Republicans, shutting the country down is no way to fucking act. It's just like those meth heads a couple years ago. These damn over 50 fucking meth heads they got on the Beltway, that 495 or even I-95 up there in D.C. They blocked all the lanes of traffic. Got out of there, the people were behind them were honking their horns. And somebody got out with a video camera and was filming them. And they're out of their trucks, standing in the middle of I-95, flexing their muscles. We shut it down. We shut it down. Well, you know what happens? All this black smoke matters bullshit. You know what happened? Let me tell you what happened. DC Metro Police, along with the Department of Transportation, came out there with wreckers and gave them a choice. You either move your bullshit out the way, your long-nosed 1967 Peterbilts that can barely run anymore and barely pass a DOT inspection. You move it out the way, or we're going to lock you up because you don't have a permit to protest, and we're going to tow your rig. And you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg to get it back. And they moved. Now, it makes me wonder, do these idiots up in Canada have a permit to protest? Does Canada require that type of thing? Second of all, vaccination bullshit aside, and let me just say this. If you want to go get the vaccine, go get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. I do firmly believe in the fact that it should not be mandatory, okay? But I was asking this, and it's not just for these truck drivers, it's anybody who has not gone back to work yet. How are they going to feed their families if they shut down? How are they making any money? We're not out here for our health. I'm not out here because I want to be out here. I'm out here because I need to make money. So, what happens? All the idiots who support these fellow idiots go to GoFundMe. Let's feed let's feed these families. But what you don't understand, if truckers shut down and you give these truckers all your money and the truckers aren't bringing any food in, it's called a supply chain for a reason, and it's a constant loop. Truckers supply you with food. You buy the food, therefore it's the loop, people. And they've stopped the loop. Which means they're not putting money in their pockets. Therefore, they're not putting food on, helping you put food on your table by delivering said food. But you want to go give them money for this. You want to take your money and donate it to a GoFundMe. Okay. You have that right. Or that privilege, I should say. Nobody has rights. This whole myth of freedom and rights. Go back and just go back and watch go to YouTube and type in George Carlin rights. And listen to a man who, yes, he's trying to be funny, but yes, he spits out a lot of fucking truth. You have no rights. You have no freedom. This notion that we're free. No, the day we set up a government, it's government. It's there to control you. You know, let's say Congress gets a wild hair up their ass and the president and the Supreme Court get wild hairs up their asses and they go, okay, we're raising taxes now. Half your paycheck comes to us. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. We're going to protest. We're going to shut it down. That ain't going to change their minds. Trudeau has already said, the Prime Minister of Canada has already said, this is not going to influence him. He's not going to change his mind. This accomplishes nothing. So they establish all these people who support these guys. Hell, they probably did it themselves. Help, we can't feed our family because we're shut down because of our bullshit freedoms. I can't go buy any more cowboy boots because I'm sitting here in Ottawa fighting for your freedom by shutting it down. Could you help me out? Hey, big man, let me hold $1. No, I'm going to need that $1 because your ass is shut down. So therefore, the price of everything is fucking gone up because the corporate drivers, like, you know, that belong to companies like me, have now jacked up their freight rates because Walmart says we need you because we can't broker loads to owner-operators to keep the freight rates down. You see what I'm getting at here, folks? This helps no one. This helps no one. What's going to show the government? And they'll cave in soon. When? When you're shutting down city streets, nobody can leave their homes, nobody can get into grocery store parking lots because you're sleeping in them. The police are having you towed, so there's an extra added expense on the top of the fact that you've spent now a week not making any money. But we shut it down for our freedom. Again, you have no freedom. You have no quote-unquote rights. If the government said, okay, we need to do something about this, let's tow them all, let's fine them all, and the government agrees and Canada agrees to it, everybody, all those politicians agree to it, guess what? You're getting towed. You gotta move. You have no freedom. You got no rights. Now, do I agree with GoFundMe shutting this down? No. Again, you want to support these morons, these owner-operator morons, go ahead. And I shouldn't say all owner-operators are morons. Most of them are very nice, very friendly, and they do good with their rigs. Then you get these moron wannabe idiots who are driving 1980 long-nosed Pete's that look like they're about to fall apart. Oh, my big rig, man, it can reach fourth gear and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to run my loads and make my money. I don't care what I'm hauling. I don't care where I got to haul it to, as long as it's not a hazmat load and it fits in the government regulations. I don't care. Well, you not caring is what's wrong with the industry. No, what's wrong with the industry is you thinking that it could go back to the way it was. What's wrong with this industry is sitting there going, we're going to shut it down. That helps no one. You shut it down. How is your wife and family going to buy food? Well, I got a bunch of food here already on my truck. How's that helping them at home, moron? So here's what needs to happen. The truck drivers just need to go back to work. Plain and simple. Go back to work. You've had your fun. You've done what you wanted to do. Playtime's over. Go back to work. And guess what? You've changed nothing because they're still going to require proof of vaccination. I respect what you've done. You protested, you hooted, you hollered. Guess what? Ain't nothing happening. A lot of good that did. You just fucked up the supply chain even more. It's just this bullshit, you know, and now they're talking about other countries doing it. Australia, England's talking about doing it. Fucking the U.S. is always talking about it. I always get this message, this text message every now and then. I read where truckers are going to strike. Well, let me tell you this in America. If the owner-operators strike, the companies are going to love it. The companies like I work for are going to love it. And I'm going to love it. Because that just means more freight for me. Which means more money for me. Okay? And this bullshit of, well, there's a driver shortage already, so we can't, you know, they can't afford for us to shut down. I got into this business in 2011, and they were bitching about a driver shortage then. Get this through your head. There's always going to be a quote-unquote driver shortage. That's another myth that fucking people, you know. And here's another thing. Here's another thing. All you damn cowboys out there. This is another thing I hear. Well, they're giving all the jobs to the towel heads. That's the thing I hear. Which, okay, I'll be honest with you. The number one rule in this business and the number one rule for DOT is you must be able to read, write, and speak English fluently. And 80% of these people out here, whether you're Indian or even you rednecks, can't speak English fluently. I can't understand. I mean, if you take the chewing tobacco out of your mouths, you may be able to fucking put together a sentence. You morons. You imbeciles. Half of you truck drivers going, I don't take imbecile. They got me on Prozac. If you shut down and stop driving, they are going to hire drivers from other countries like Africa, like India, like Mexico, because they'll work for 25 cents a mile. My white honky ass won't. But they will. Because they're grateful to have a fucking job in a country that has running water and paved streets to begin with. So think about that. If you shut it down, they're going to go move you aside. Okay, fine. We'll hire somebody who's going to work for less. And then the business will be back like it was in 2011 when I got into it, making 26 cents a mile. I'm now making over double that. You're taking this industry backwards by politicizing this industry. Okay? You know, we have separation of church and state. I think we should have separation of politics and business. I really do. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, Think for your fucking selves. Don't let some orange-faced idiot or some old hag who looks like he already has Alzheimer's and is fading away fast. Think for yourselves. Make your money. You're helping no one by doing this. And the GoFundMe thing, GoFundMe is now saying, well, we have reports that this is terroristic. It's not terroristic, okay? It's not an insurrection. Every time somebody protests or goes on strike, it's not an insurrection. Are you telling me now that union workers, when Chicago had that big teacher strike, was it last year? Were they insurrectionists? Were they doing an insurrection because they strike? They went on strike and didn't show up for work? This bullshit from Democrats of, if you buck the system, you're insurrectionist. No. But there's a way to protest properly. And this isn't it. This crap isn't it. Okay. We're going on weeks now with this bullshit. You proved your point. Go back to work. Nothing's going to change. You've accomplished nothing. And now the money that they did raise for you to help you feed your family while you're continuing on this pitty little crusade of yours is going to be going to the American Cancer Association. You fucking morons. Which I don't think GoFundMe's within their right to do it. But, that's what happens when you just don't think for yourselves. People are giving GoFundMe, and I thank you all who supports truck drivers. I really do. But when you're complaining about food not being on grocery store shelves, and you're complaining about, just the supply shortages, but yet you give money to the people who are causing the problem, or helping, or certainly not helping the problem, making it worse. It's all because the orange man said to do it. Or Biden, the old hag, said to do it. Think for yourselves. Anyway, if you do see a big rig on the road, do not tailgate us. Give us plenty of room. If we need to get over, let us over. Remember, if you can't see our mirrors, we can't see you. And we'll see you down the road.